Welcome to Coffee and Conversation. My name is Honorine, and today I'm with Dennis Ssekimpi, who is pursuing a master in civil and environmental engineering. Dennis, welcome to Coffee and Conversation, and thank you for your time.
Yes, thank you so much, Honorine, for the opportunity. It's a pleasure to be here with you. Can't wait to see what's ahead.
Yeah, so my first question for you is, can you introduce yourself?
Yes, so once again, like Honorine shared with you earlier, my name is Dennis Ssekimpi. I am a master's student in the Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering here at Florida State University. I am from Uganda in East Africa, and this is where I completed my undergraduate studies in Civil and Environmental Engineering, a 4-year program back home in Uganda. So my university is called Makerere University. That's where I did my undergraduate studies. It's located in the capital city of Kampala. And I come from a family of 5 children back home in Uganda, where my family is. That's where I grew up. So once I completed my undergraduate studies, I moved to the USA, Florida here for my graduate school program. Basically to get more specialized in the area of environmental engineering, which I am really passionate about.
Awesome, so much to talk about. First, can you tell me more about your international journey and how did you end up in Florida State or at Florida State University?
Yeah, so for me, it's definitely like any other international student knows, it's quite tedious journey, from looking up universities or institutions you want to join, looking up a particular program you want to take in, and then also the funding perspective of this. So basically, I'm working as a graduate research assistant here at Florida State. So I had some research background at my undergraduate in my undergraduate studies. I had done some work in environmental engineering, in particular wastewater. I had done some research on wastewater. So and I'd gotten so much help from my professors during my undergraduate studies. And I really wanted to continue doing more research work on this. So I knew that masters would be a good option to help me proceed with this. And I wanted to study outside of Uganda. That was a personal goal that I had. I wanted to go for further studies, but outside of my home country. I knew it was a bit of a challenge because, it's quite expensive. So I had to look for funding and assistantships. That's where the assistantships come in, and that has been very helpful for me. So I did applications to several universities. I had a few that I was interested in, and to me, these universities were more or less the same. If I got one, it would work pretty well for me because I felt like they would offer me the same opportunities. And fortunately, I got a placement here at Florida State University, which I was really good. First, I enjoy the weather down here in Florida compared to other parts of the US, so I was really happy to take on this opportunity. But also, the research that I got here was very much similar to what I've been working on in the past. So that was a very good opportunity. So my strength in what I'd learned before could continue to grow, and maybe I can explore more things during this research time here. So I decided to get into the program here at Florida State University and work in the department.
Do you remember a cultural shock that you experienced when you arrived in the US?
Yeah, today, up to now, I think I still feel
yeah, it can be from yesterday.
Yeah, I think mostly for me it's the language. So I know we speak English, but Uganda is a British colony, so we speak British English. So once you move to the US and you're trying to move to the American English, I would say, every once in a while someone is not going to understand the word you're saying, or why you're calling soccer, why you're calling soccer football, the basics. So to me that still gets me, but every now and then I'm getting better at it. Yeah, it's pretty fine.
So your cultural shock is more regarding languages and differences between British English and American English?
Yeah, because communication is key. You want to move into a place, you say something and everyone is understanding what you're saying, you're communicating clearly, people can get your message, your request, from your request, maybe you're trying to present to someone an idea, you want to make sure that they get clearly what you're trying to say, because that's how you cultivate relationships. That's how you expand your network. People enjoy communicating with you, they understand what you say. But once you have that challenge, it slows down how fast you integrate it to the community. It slows down the progress of some of your work because you have to explain twice as much. So communication to me is really powerful. And once you bridge that gap of communication, things tend to fall in place because someone enjoys listening to you and understanding what you're saying. So I think to me that's why I consider it important.
It seems that networking is a big part of who you are. You've mentioned it a couple of times. Is it something that is very important in Uganda, or did you just really absorb the American culture? Because I know for me as a French student, I didn't quite understand the importance of networking. And it took me quite a while. I still have a hard time with it. But it seems that for you, like, even when you were applying to graduate programs, you were already networking.
Yeah, and I look at it, basically it's two things. Both it's a cultural aspect back home, but also on an individual basis, it's been a very helpful tool for me. So back home in Uganda, you're walking on the street, you're going to be talking to random people, you're going to be talking to strangers, you go for an event, you're going to talk to strangers easily, you're in a public means, you're going to have conversations with people. So networking is everywhere. There's tons of people you can talk to with nothing in common, just start a conversation on the street and everyone, people gather around, even when they don't know each other, they start to talk. And from there, eventually, things come out. Maybe you can meet later on because you had talked earlier, or you can meet at another event with a person who you maybe accidentally talked to somewhere. So naturally, it's in the ecosystem. But from a personal perspective, it's been very pertinent in my journey. The information I have, the things I've done, are all because of the people that I know. Some people to date I've not met them in person. I still just interact with them over email, over Zoom. But the information they've shared with me through these networking sessions or just talking, going for an event, I pick up so much, and it's what has helped me, first of all, throughout the graduate school application journey. The people who supported me, you want people to review your statement of purpose, you want people to review your applications, you want people to guide you on which school, is a good fit for you. All these, it's people I've met through other people. And, they spend 30 minutes or an hour talking to you and pick up some insights. So I've seen the effects it has had on me. Just, the knowledge I've been able to pick up along the way is because of networking. The people I know have determined how much I know. So I try to know more people and explore more spaces that I can, have more information that can take me to the next step in my journey. So that's how I look at it.
Can you tell me more about what you studied?
Yeah, so I shared with you, basically, I am working as a research assistant at Florida State University. And I'm working with Dr. Yuneng Tang in the Civil and Environmental Engineering Department. Basically, the goal of the research is to use bacteria to develop tools for cleaning what we call superfund sites. Superfund sites are priority sites by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency for cleanup. So these are contaminated sites with hazardous substances. So we're building tools, using bacteria to improve and optimize the processes that can help us clean up these sites. So basically, we rely on biological processes, and we're making them much more efficient as a technology to clean up these sites which are polluted in the country. So that's the basic goal of the research which I'm working on together with my professor here at Florida State.
And you said in the country, do you focus in America or do you focus on Uganda back home?
Yeah, so how I look at this is that the work I'm doing primarily is solving a problem which is currently in the US. Because the US is a leader in tackling environmental problems. But these challenges, so as of today, when we do the research, when we build the tools, we're testing them here in the US. And I know together with some of the US agencies. But how I look at it is in the next few years, in the next couple of years, the position US is in right now, having these environmental challenges, other places too will have these challenges. If we talk about Uganda or Africa as a whole, industrialization is a global aspect. Countries are growing exponentially, trying to build their economies. So the effects of this growth is this pollution. So the US is steps ahead of us in both industrialization and also identifying these effects of industrialization. But the same problems are going to happen, back home. So my undertakings here, my learning, I know in the future will have a very huge role to play in solving the problems that we shall face back home. Because the challenges that are here, they're going to be faced back home in due time. It's more or less inevitable because the trend is moving towards that direction. Yes.
Wow, you seem pretty advanced in your research already for first semester master students. It's impressive. It's good. It's really good. So my last question for you is, how do you see yourself in 5 years from today?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I know that question is just basically asking what do I look to do after school? What direction am I headed? Just to share with you, so coming to grad school is an opportunity to, first of all, build more specialized skills. And this is what gives anyone an edge over the rest of the competition or the rest of the people, because we're in a kind of a competition ultimately. You're trying to make yourself better to stand out from the crowd. So this is a good opportunity for me to build those specialized skills that will help me stand out, and taking that at heart. Where I see myself once I've gained all these skills and understanding in my research, and also other activities that I do on campus, if it's taking part in trainings that are available here on campus, all this information I gather, I would want to take it out, and I shared with you that my goal is to have an intersection of research and entrepreneurship to work in the environment, solve environmental problems. So you use the skills you have from your research work or the understanding you have from doing research to maybe build a company that can transform and tackle some of the environmental problems, but in an entrepreneurial way, because entrepreneurship is the best way to solve some of these challenges, because it offers employment for other people, but at the same time fixing the problems we have in the environment, to say, which is the target area. So that's where I find myself. I want to have an intersection of research and entrepreneurship to pursue after school next 5 years. So I see myself maybe having started an organization to explore this combination of research and entrepreneurship to tackle the problems.
And do you see yourself in America or somewhere else in the world?
I think that's a tricky question. I mean, it could be anywhere in the world. It could be anywhere in the world, and that's something I'm keeping open. I am looking to be as flexible as possible in where, especially for the starting path. Once I'm done after school, I would want to explore as many options in any part of the world, but then maybe eventually head back home, having collected all these multiple skills and knowledge, and settle home to focus on fixing what needs to be fixed there. That's how I look at it. Yeah. So start off with exploring as much as possible, and then eventually settle home to fix what needs to be fixed.
Well, thank you so much, Denise. It was great to get to know you better and hear more about your journey and your research. So thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much, Honorine. It's a pleasure on my end. Actually, the pleasure is mine to be here, to be featured as a student here. Thank you so much. Hope we can always continue to share more and more as the journey goes. It's only the beginning, so there's a lot to expect.